And furthermore, I do believe that everyone, all the global citizens, had been following the invasion of Ukraine since the late February 2022. Now, if you think about it, it's almost 365 days. And with that said, I mean, almost everyone in the world has been giving a full support and wish that this invasion will end very soon. But on that note, of course, we will now have a discussion of the Ukraine 2023 resolution with Ukraine Ambassador to Indonesia, His Excellency Vasyl Hamianin. Good afternoon, Ambassador. Thank you so much for being here with us. Of course, Happy New Year to you. And we'd like to just say thank you so much for wearing that dashing batik that you wear. I love the jacket. What do you think about it, huh?
And Ivan, you made it especially for this interview. Thank you so much.
Yes, it is. Well, it's made by my friends by SAS Batik Design, Tatler, Indonesia. So
yes,
certainly true.
It's first occasion I wear it.
Right, a very great respect
well
to you, sir.
But by the way, we are very keen to know what is Ukraine's resolution for, entering the year of 2023.
Well, it is quite simple, and it was presented actually by my president to the world leaders at G20 summit in Bali. While my president was speaking, he delivered 10 points of peace formula to end the conflict, and it can be applied also for any conflict, any war in the world, and also to prevent any such calamity in any country, in any corner of the world. So it's like 10 points which are leading us to the victory and which are leading us to peace and stability. So, well, anyone can read it or listen to it, but basically it's about the principles that all countries of the world, at least democratic countries, are respecting, like nuclear security, like food security, like respecting the UN Charter, like the end of any invasion and withdrawing all troops of invaders from the sovereign territories, etc., etc. So these are points that will lead, I believe, no, I know this, right? They will lead to the peace, finally. So this is the start game for this year. And as we're approaching the 24th of February, Ukraine, together with the United Nations and the partners, are working now on the resolution, and I mean the UN resolution, and we also work on this Peace Formula Summit, which I don't know when would it take place or where, but we're working on this. I will deliver this information in due course, and I do hope that all countries of the goodwill, democratic states that really value justice, humanity and democracy will join this initiative.
Right. I think it also in 2022, every summit or any forum that has been held from each respective countries, Ukraine has been the main agenda of every topic. And now I think it's been followed through. I just want to read out what's been written in The Guardian. The UK Foreign Secretary James Cleverly has just justified his supply of Challenger tanks to Ukraine. And he also stated this war has been dragging on for a long time already. And now it is time to bring it to a conclusion. Well, what does he mean by conclusion? Well, he said we should look to bring conclusion quickly. The conclusion has to be Ukraine victory. And with that said, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak had said government would provide 14 Challenger and 2 tanks. European countries have previously supplied Kyiv with modernized version of Soviet tanks, and the US and France have committed to a lighter versions. We've seen this. We've seen all, these countries are helping, and they're not only talking, they're already giving actions. What is your response to this?
Well, my response will be very simple, especially for the Indonesian people to understand the situation, right? We're not talking about whatever territory we are fighting with the third country over. It's not like that. Actually, what happens is not Ukraine is going to win this war or defeat anyone. It's one point. The point is the Ukraine is going to liberate its sovereign territories. This is important. Ukraine is going to defeat the invader and the aggressor. This is the main point. And Ukraine is going to protect the principles of peaceful coexistence that all globally are accepted globally by any nation, right? So of course we have choice always to make a peace, to restore the peace and stability on any territory. We have a choice how to achieve this. Now, something that we don't do, we cannot wait for 20 years. Because every day, 2 days ago, you witnessed this brutal attack on my home city of Dnipro. It just direct hit by the missile. we don't want this to carry on for years, for decades, right?
Yes.
So second point is we can give up the territories and say, okay, let's stop the war, but we will leave the territories under Russian control. We would not do this. This was the decision of the nation, of Ukrainian nation, not just the president or government.
Yeah.
Correct.
People say, we are not trading, we're not making deals like that.
Right.
Territories should be... That's the
Yes.
point. So how do we achieve this? Either make Russian commanders to withdraw the troops, then there will be no casualties, minimal destruction, and etc. If they don't want, we'll just fight and kick them off.
Yeah.
I see.
So this will be the end game.
So this also to get into the goal that the Russia will be, will lessen the grip over Ukraine. But what is the vehicle towards that goal that has been done by the Ukrainian government so far?
Well, we've been trying all the possible instruments and ways to approach, to talk. Maybe before, well, a few months ago, even to mediate, we could allow anyone to be a mediator in this peace process.
Yeah.
We never refused to talk. But then we were discovered that there is no intention to talk or to negotiate from Russian side. So I think the only instrument now is the military, to increase the military ability, military force. That's it. That's what they're talking about.
And also
the tanks, the armored vehicle.
And on that note, also, the UK had given the Challenger 2 tanks for Ukraine as the military aid.
Yeah.
How has the effect been so far?
Well, you mean by the Challenger tanks? They haven't arrived yet.
With the military aid?
They haven't arrived yet.
It hasn't arrived yet?
No, it's on the way, like somewhere. But, this information is classified. Even I don't have a clue where they are and what happens. But what I know for sure is that sometimes these things, like tanks and like artillery, like HIMARS, that sort of things, will resolve the situation even without fighting.
Yeah.
Because when it is the military, do you remember the military operation of liberating the Kharkov region in September? I think.
Yes,
it was
I did.
early September. Yeah. I mean, we liberated the territories that Russians. It took like 4 or 5 months for Russians to occupy them, and we liberated them in 2 weeks. Meaning that if there is a real counter-offense operation, they will run. So for Russians, we always give the option, run or die. It's now it's like that. There's no other options.
And you know what I've seen, due to respect to all Ukrainians, sir, I think when it began, in February 2022, I saw the vigilance and the resilience of the Ukrainian people. Civilians are, ready to go to war, to the front line, which is there were civilians, they're father of children, there were husbands of some wives, and they were very different occupants other than military forces and whatnot, but they're willing to give their heart, their soul, their body, towards, defending their home country and whatnot. How have you been seeing, you just came back from Ukraine, from your hometown. Have you seen, the fire is still there, engaged and fired through their soul, still defending their home country?
Well, for me, it was a very specific experience because I just visited Ukraine briefly during Pajokovi's visit. It was in June, late June, right? After that, it was the second time I visited Ukraine during the war. And the experience was shocking because, just staying in your bedroom and watching the drones flying there and the air defense system intercepting and it's explosions everywhere. And, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's the war is next to you, out of your window.
Right.
So, but, for example, now, you can, well, maybe you cannot imagine this clearly, but now it's like -5 degrees in Ukraine, in Kyiv.
Yes.
And my family living in the house, and they have only like 3 to 5 hours of electricity supply every day. So 3 to 5 hours daily.
Out of 24 hours.
During the day.
During the 24 hours, you just have 5 hours of electricity. Meaning, 5 hours of electricity, water supplies, heating, and connection, any connection. 20 hours is a blackout. It's cold, no water, no electricity, no connection, nothing. Right. So can you imagine how they feel now? But when they are asked how I'm feeling, say, Merdika taumati. That's the response of all Ukrainians. Doesn't matter, small kids, old, disabled people, ill because my daughter is working in the hospital. Same story. Like weak and old people say we must win. We don't care about our lives, but we are not going to be slaves. This is the main point of Ukrainians.
Okay, so from what we've seen from the reports, and we could only get the information that far, but we want to know from like one-hand experience, like that the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, let me state it that, said on Monday that more than 7,000 civilians have been killed in Ukraine since Russia invaded Ukraine last February. Now, many say that the figure is about 7,000, but do you have the exact statistic and number about this?
Well, these 7,000 plus victims are confirmed, 100% confirmed, like documented and filed. I would say there will be tens of thousands. One reason for that is, for example, Mariupol, with its former 500,000 population, which we don't have a clue what happened to them now. Presumably, some of them left. Some of them were forcefully deported to Russia. Some of them left to the Ukrainian territory, to this part. Some just died under the destroyed houses and residences. We just know that the place, the cemeteries in Mariupol, grown in size dramatically. So we cannot know what it would be the number. We can calculate it after that. What we know is, filed and confirmed 7+, and among them around 500 children.
Right. So, Ambassador, I think this has to stop and it has to change. And that said, how could it be different for Ukrainians for this new year in 2023? What can we do to make it a difference also?
People just pray for peace. And, everyone in Ukraine now, when they congratulate everyone, like Happy New Year, all that, we have Happy Victorious New Year. So we have no doubts there will be a day of victory.
Yes.
It's inevitable. It's just a matter of time, when. And of course, we would love it to be the sooner the better, mainly because of the lives of the people. Because every day we have civilians die of Russian attacks. Right. Every day we have civilians die.
Yes.
And it cannot be compensated. It cannot be repaid. It cannot be, it cannot be understood, actually. So the point is, to save the lives, we had to end this war as soon as possible.
Right.
We have to end it.
Indeed. And of course, the deaths of the civilians are not just will not just tarnish like that. They are, they're become the propeller and the heart of the Ukrainians, and also the heart of the global citizen itself. And we know that you were just saying before, you've seen how your family and how the people of Ukraine are still stand still. They're still very vigilant towards, and they're a survivor in whatever situations. And indeed, we do wish the best for Ukraine. Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Thank you.
All right, so everyone, that was Ambassador Vasyl Hamianin, Ukraine ambassador to Indonesia. We will have also further reports and updates and searches of Ukraine. But right now, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we'll have the latest from Southeast Asia and also around the world.
And later during the hour, Ahir will bring you the latest from the world of business, so stay with us.